Hello everybody, this is Some Mascot Plays, and today we are playing through TTYD Randomizer, and so the randomizer I have set for this is the loading zones and the items. There is an option to have basically what I like to call coinception available, which is pretty much where all of the coins get randomized and the items do. But for this run, I decided to stick with just the overworld items that appear. But I do plan on doing a run later where I try out the coin sanity and see how that affects the game. But there's a couple of interesting things that I want to discuss about the randomizer, and the first thing is the sequence. And so the big thing about sequence is the higher the number, the later it'll put you on through the game. And so as soon as I get all of these items around Rogueport, and this, you'll always start in this area too. As soon as I start hitting the loading zones and start advancing things in the story by activating cutscenes or the cursed chests or anything like that, my sequence will change. And just a heads up, if the sequence ever goes to 400, that means that I made it to the Shadow Queen, which at the beginning of a run is not always a good thing. So we'll see kind of how that goes. Also gonna be honest, I'm a little out of practice. If you've seen some uploads on the channel, recently I've been doing Paper Mario 64. I'm gonna be honest, I'm so used to the action commands from that game that I feel just so off with these action commands, as well as I think my controller does have the tiniest bit of input delay, but honestly, I feel like it'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen? I'm kind of interested to see what badges I do get, though. The problem with these, like, randomizers is that at times it feels like a lot of walking back and forth. It really just depends on what loading zones I get. To be honest, I picked up the key because I kind of thought that it would change my sequence to kind of discuss the sequence change that I've been talking about, but I guess those keys actually don't change the sequence. Which is good to know because there's a lot of rooms in the Palace of Shadows, like that area, and I'm probably going to end up getting that loading zone many times. It's really strange though, because doing these runs, sometimes you'll get like the same loading zone over and over again, and it feels like you shouldn't be able to get that loading zone so many times, as there's only like one or two entrances into the map. And there's other times where I swear I, for the life of me, cannot get certain loading zones, which is kind of annoying because the crystal stars are also randomized, and so you can hear them a little bit when you're close by, so that you'll know they're there, but I mean, it's not a guarantee that you'll get all of them, just because you never know if you'll get the right room or not. Because it kind of does just boil down to luck and honestly kind of banging your head against the wall a little bit to try and just get the right rooms. I feel like these enemies would be nice to beat. I don't know if I can beat them, but they would give me a lot of experience points if I am able to beat them. Which would be nice because level ups are always helpful. I do not remember that they had that much attack power. Well, probably get used to seeing that. It's something I want to go back to was talking about sequence. Sequence is kind of important for certain bosses, because if you get a sequence that's too late, you can enter, say, like, Cortez's ship, and Cortez won't be there because the sequence is too late. So, sequence kind of determines whether or not you get to fight, like, certain bosses. So sometimes I'll enter some, like, boss rooms and you'll see that the boss just does not appear, and that's because my sequence would be too high. Also, shine sprites are randomized as well. And the sucky part too is you also have to get that one specific screen in the east side of Road 4 in order to get to the guide to upgrade your partner, so... Oh, this is going wonderful. And I'm probably dead. I have to super guard these or I just died. Please actually successfully run. Oh my goodness. I was just really cutting it close there. Oh, I should have used the healing block. Actually, I don't think I have any coins, so I don't think it would have mattered. But as you can see, there's a good example. My sequence changed because I activated that cutscene. An interesting thing too is every time you start like the randomizer, you'll have a different color of Yoshi. Also, I just teleported. There are some funny secrets that, or not secrets, but like little glitches with the loading zones that I think will be really funny to see at times. Sometimes you just enter loading zones that you should not be in, and the fact that every time you leave a room in one way or another, it switches your loading zone. It can make some very interesting results. You know, that's actually useful since I'm already in peril. Kinda wish I had more BP though. I think that's Power Lift that I just picked up, which is very helpful. I'm now realizing that I forgot to equip Power Rush, the Mega Rush. Also, an interesting thing with this thing is the enemies are pretty much gonna always have items, which makes things a lot more interesting. Place Bobber can flip these guys, which is very nice. Yeah, I kind of got very lucky at the beginning of the run to find those power rushes, because you can honestly, like, it kind of breaks the game, but you can just stack a whole bunch of power rushes and then find like glass stands. You pretty much become invincible. Not like fully, but basically. I feel like Malice would be good here just for defense purposes. But a little bit of planning for this series, because by the time that this is uploaded, I'm planning on it being up on May 1st, and by the time that this is uploaded, I kind of realized that just with my uploading schedule, that I'm still working on finishing the first Paper Mario game, as well as I didn't realize how long it would take for the Mario Super Sluggers story mode series to go and finish. So I'm thinking of pushing this series back to pretty much on Saturdays normally, but increasing the time to probably about an hour to an hour and a half-ish. Just because these are a lot, there is a lot of game time and gameplay that goes into these randomized runs, because even though you can technically get the Shadow Queen at any time, kind of, at least for me, I kind of don't feel prepared to fight her necessarily at the start. And I guess I never mentioned, but kind of my goal for this run, or these runs, is to beat the Shadow Queen. That's kind of the main goal. And as soon as I do that, I'll end the run. But honestly, it's easier said than done. Trust me. It's kind of interesting because it puts into perspective. I'm a very, I'd say, casual player when it comes to Paper Mario. I know there's a lot of players out there that are like really good at this game, but I'm definitely more on the casual side. And it kind of puts into perspective when you feel so unprepared to fight the Shadow Queen because you're not great at super guards and not really the best at like strategy, because usually when I play through like just a normal playthrough of this game, I usually by the time I'm looking into the Shadow Queen have about 50 HP, 40 FP, and 30 BP. So it's kind of weird just, kind of working with what you've got. It also kind of sucks that, like, I can't necessarily equip badges before entering the Shadow Queen boss, necessarily, because I don't know when it's going to happen. So, kind of leads to the question, do I always, like, have a setup ready for Shadow Queen? Because it's not necessarily the most ideal if you're just traversing, I feel like, through the world doing normal battles, but at the same time, I feel like this early on, I mean, all I have really going for me is Mario and danger/peril badges, so it won't really matter too much. I feel like with my badge selection right now, because I think the big thing that I'm hoping for right now is just to get like a boots upgrade or a hammer upgrade, just because like the danger stuff is like kind of nice, but it sucks that my base attack power is still really low. It is nice that I have power lift, but because I have the beginning stage, I feel like I barely get any star points. And we're back. I'm not going to for this episode of this series, but if you guys would like, you have to let me know if you want me to keep a death counter going. Because, honestly, it's gonna happen a lot. A lot of it depends on luck. And there's no way I'm fighting Smoke right now. I feel like the boss that this game for some reason likes giving me the most is Gloomtail. I don't know why. But it always just seems like that's the, boss that it gives me. And an interesting thing too is if you have a high sequence, fight a boss, and then you end up lowering your sequence by triggering an event, early on in the game, you can actually fight the same boss again. And this is kind of funny to me because the music is playing from Word Crump attacking the island, but I'm far into the island, just because my sequence is still set to the sequence of that battle taking place, because it doesn't change when you die, it stays on the same sequence, which kind of sucks sometimes, because if you have your sequence set to the Shadow Queen, I feel like it really sucks. Just because you're basically stuck at 400, and I mean you're not able to fight any other bosses in the game besides Shadow Queen. so you are kind of really relying either to run into her again if you're kind of prepared to take her on at the end, or you pretty much just have to hope for some sequence event that ruins your sequence. Also, you probably noticed that I quit the Zap Tap instead of on my danger badges just because I knew it was a fuzzy battle, and literally Zap Tap just makes you like invincible to these guys. They can't do anything to you. It's kind of nice. And there's my garbage action command striking again. I just chose to appeal there because he has returned postage. Although seeing as I only do 2 damage, I guess wouldn't have been the worst to take a counter so that I could get in danger and re-equip my danger badges, but it's one of those things that, you know, it's just after the fact. Also, I think an important thing worth noting is, you see that badge that I have in the badge screen that was called the debug badge. I'm never going to equip that badge just because basically what it does is it does all of your action commands, like super guards and stuff for you, and I feel like that would kind of just defeat the purpose of the run. I was just able to have the game kind of automatically do my action commands and everything for me. I just feel like that'd be like cheating a little bit, so I'm not planning on ever really having that badge on. But, you know, it's there if you want it. Also, I think this is a funny the music glitch that happens is a lot of the times you leave an area and you go to another loading zone and it like just the music just sticks. I feel like sometimes it's very funny because the train is also an area that you're gonna see a lot. Honestly, the game really likes loading me into the train. But my favorite is like having the X-Not Fortress theme playing when I like load into the train. I think it's just it's just such a contrast from kind of like the more quieter music of like the train and more relaxing kind of music that like the train vibe has. Instead it's just a super upbeat music instead. I just think that's funny that he's kind of like, let's go on like a tour. You know, it's like, let me show you around. And pretty much you just leave and load in somewhere else. Although it is really funny because there will be times where he is like leading you around. And you'll probably see it later because it's fairly common to happen. But you basically fall through the floor. It looks very interesting, to say the least. Also, I did want to mention that I'll be planning on playing the Paper Mario TTYD remake that comes out towards the end of May. And I'd be interested to hear from you guys if you would like to see me commentate over the video, or if you would just like the raw gameplay of my playthrough. Typically how I do these recordings is a lot of the time I'll commentate afterwards, just because of how my setup is. It's so much easier with time and everything, so I don't plan on basically recording audio, or basically, talking commentary. Also, that's funny, I walked into the same room. Also, that shadow thing, that Shadow Mario, you'll sometimes see him in battle if you're in the sequence, or in the overworld if you're in that chapter 4 sequence. But as I was saying, yeah, just let me know if you'd want to have me commentate over the remake. It would be post-game commentary, just because of, like I said, how I have my setup, but I would also be, totally cool with just posting my gameplay of my playthrough of the remake. So you guys would just have to let me know which one you'd rather see. I'm very excited for the remake, though. I've enjoyed a lot of the trailers. I think my favorite little clip that they've shown so far is kind of some changes they made to the Glitz Pit, where they made it look more like an arena with all of the lights and everything, and it just looks so fun to me. And it was just the smallest little clip, but it really got me excited for the remake. This is a nice part about Poplift. Especially with, these guys should still give you decent experience, because, I'm a level 1 still, and these are level 2, or world, I guess, chapter. That's the word I'm looking for. Chapter 2 enemies. And a nice part about having the fact that they can't damage me anyway is I can just kind of practice my super guards. It's kind of nice. Also, something I did want to mention, because I realized that I kind of forgot to acknowledge it a bit, which is my bad, but my channel recently reached 100 subscribers, so honestly I can't thank you guys enough for the support. It's been really fun being able to just kind of make gameplay videos. I've honestly been having a good time with it, so I appreciate the support, and as always, if there's any games you want me to play, feel free to let me know. The only thing really holding me back is just if I have the game available on the system. Eventually I have to get to the point where I would be able to monetize my videos and kind of make a little bit on the side for YouTube, because right now, it is pretty much just a hobby that I do everything with my life. But I feel like eventually it would be nice to be able to kind of monetize it in some way so that, upgrading things like a better mic or a better PC or buying games to play that people recommend eventually, and that sort of can kind of, I guess, pay for itself in a way that it won't have to be, out of pocket for me, since, I do have my own place and my own bills to pay, so. But if it's within my power, and you'd like to see a playthrough of it, then I'll do my best to make it happen. I'm also glad to finally get a level up. I wish I had Quake camera. I feel like that'd be so nice at this point. But I decided to go with piercing bow instead. Also, you can see the thing I was talking about earlier, where I'm the shadow Mario, the shadow version of Mario in this battle. So I think that's just a funny kind of thing that can happen. Honestly, I feel like a bit of a problem I have with just me personally when I'm playing these games is I always want to try for the super guards, and I feel like, I don't know, my timing is just so inconsistent when it comes to the super guards that I feel like it's not always the best option to go for, but it's just like, I don't know, just the idea of, negating all damage and basically like countering the opponent is like, it's just so appealing that unless it's like a life or death type thing, I feel like I always tend to try super guards, which honestly probably not the best strategy, but we're chilling, we're having fun with it. Also, I do want to mention, I did discuss it earlier a little bit, that it's like, I feel like I'm like a very casual player when it comes to this game, and so some people who know a lot more about this game, like, you can yell at me in the comments all you want for missing items that are hiding behind places. Because I guarantee you I'm going to miss so many panels and just little places that the star pieces hide. Honestly, I'm a lot better at understanding the panels for Paper Mario 64, because I did do a lot of randomizers for that one a while back, just for fun, before I started my YouTube channel, way before I started my YouTube channel. And I just kind of got used to where all the panel locations were, because I just spent a good amount of time doing it. Also, the fact that, your Ultra Hammer can reveal tile locations is just so nice. I wish that they would have kept it for this game. Not quite sure why they removed it, but who knows, maybe they'll put it in a remake, maybe they won't. At the end of the day, all the panels really give you is star pieces, which are just a trade with Dazzle, and I feel like the only like badges that are really a necessity from him is like quick change. I feel like having extra like power pluses and stuff is nice and all, but you find some like throughout the game, and so I feel like it's not the biggest deal if you miss them, or if you don't buy it from guys. I think the flower finder as well is a really nice badge to have as well, but just because I feel like you use a lot of FP in this game. Yeah, I need to heal. Part of me thought about attacking, but because I have the burn on, you basically just be an instant game over, pretty much, if I didn't attack, or if I didn't heal right there. I also went with Bobby at the beginning of the battle for the extra damage. I kind of forgot he didn't have any HP though, which is kind of a whoops on my part. Oh, thanks for the assist. I feel like for the loading zone randomizer specifically, Heartfinder wouldn't be too bad, just because I feel like you can set up like parallel partners like, pretty easily with that. Sorry, I just yawned a bit. I don't know if trying to set up parallel partners is necessarily the greatest strategy, but I mean it is a strategy. I kind of thought it would initiate the cutscene with Coops, but I think my sequence is too high for that. I only have like a general understanding of like what sequences, what area of the game. Because I mean, the easy part is just being like, oh yeah, the lower sequences are for the lower points of the game, which you're like, okay, yeah. But when we're talking like specifics, I'm not 100% sure, honestly. The easiest way to like, I can think of is if I can remember like the last sequence that happened, I can just be like, okay, that was in chapter whatever. And if it was in like chapter 5, for instance, I would be like, oh, okay, well, you know, any sequence that I get beforehand in a earlier chapter, you know, you have to take it as it's as if I went back to there after chapter 5. Now I'm really happy to get multi-bounce here because I feel like this with the peril is going to be really nice, or the danger badges is going to be really nice. I kind of wish I had Spike Shield and again that I could find like a boots upgrade. I kind of realize that it's like, oh wait, like I was just saying, I need a boots upgrade. It's kind of something that I didn't think about too much, was just like, oh right, for all those 4 paintings I need the spin jump. I think if you get the spring jump boots, then you can use the spin jump. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to see whenever I hopefully pick those up. But also, if you saw me intentionally jumping into the water right there and taking damage, is because I wanted to set a peril. Just because, like I said, the multi-bounce peril plus danger badges, I feel like it's just gonna wreck anything that like isn't spiky. I think Koopas are also locked to only attacking the front, so I can just basically put my partner in back. And as long as I take out the Paragooba, it won't matter. That's a lot. That's a lot of damage. I also have chill out still, I believe, so I can't get first strike. See, this is kind of the problem. Is the spiky Goombas. Because well, Koopas are kind of locked to attacking the front. Spiky Goomba could attack me from the back, which is kind of scary, which is also why I really want Spike Shield, so that I can just do one multi-bounce and basically clear these guys, no problem. I run out of inventory space so fast in these though, just because you get like all these random like items that like can be cooked. On the bright side, at least you can sell them, and like, honestly some of them are pretty good. Might as well pick up Jumpman, because if I get Spike Shield, then I'm pretty much, I feel like golden, just Jumpman, Spike Shield, and multi-bounce in danger, peril, wipe out most, I'd say normal, just normal like encounters. Bosses would be a lot harder. I want like power bounce to try to do something with that. It's kind of nice that I got this first one because it was my sequence, but two, an interesting thing about this is if you get basically like you're in a spot where you'll be soft locked from being stuck in a room, basically what will happen is you'll be able to use the ability that you need to get out of the room, but you don't technically like have it unless you get those the first chest. So now I like legitimately have it, which is nice. I feel like Posture Heights is one of the areas that I'm the least familiar with. Oh, great. Like I was saying, this game wants to give me Gloomtail. I wish I had power bounce, but if I can super guard breath, I might actually have a chance. I don't know if his stomp can only attack the front, but I feel like just having the partner in front would be more ideal. Don't know why I thought that would do damage, but for some reason I did. I think Vivian can do the most damage, because she can also leave the fire effect. I completely forgot about that. Well, I've been going for a little while. I think I'll probably cut it here for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on Saturday.